Hello, my name is Rachel Lance, and today I'm going to share with you the results from my Unit 9 Action Research Survey. For this project, I decided to pose a question that's very important to me because I see it in my own school and in my own classroom all the time, and that was the lack of parental involvement. Through the survey, I wanted to find out why weren't the parents getting involved in the activities at my school, why weren't they volunteering, and what I might be able to do in the upcoming school year in order to promote better parental involvement, getting those parents into the school and volunteering. So with this question in mind, I designed an 8-question survey, which I'm going to show you right now. Okay, it was called the Parental Involvement Survey. In the first question, I asked parents in the past 2 years which school activities they had attended, and these are choices that we actually do each year. In the second question, I asked the same thing, but I wanted to know not only which ones they had attended, but which ones had they volunteered at. We tend to see a lot of attendance, but maybe not parents volunteering their time or their effort at these events. In the third question, I wanted to know if different activities were available in the upcoming school year, which two would they most be likely to attend? And I gave them some descriptions and some options for potential events next year. I also wanted to know, in question number 4, what time of day is the best for them to come into the school to attend or volunteer at events, just to make sure that events weren't being hosted at the wrong times. Maybe parents had work in the morning, or maybe they worked the night shift. Question number 6, I asked what method do they prefer most as a means to notification regarding meetings, events, and other programs offered at the school. Typically we just send home flyers or notes, but I wanted to know maybe if we had used some other kind of notification system, there would have been more volunteering. This question, I wanted to know what reasons, if any, prevented them from attending or volunteering at school functions. Maybe it was prior family commitments, lack of transportation, work, maybe refreshments not being served, or maybe just not feeling comfortable coming into the school. And then finally, for the last 2 questions, I wanted to know how comfortable and how welcomed they felt by the office staff and the principal as a rating system, and how comfortable and welcomed they felt by the child's teacher, whether it was myself or another teacher. So, after designing this survey, I sent it to 20 of my email contacts. Most of these contacts were parents of my former students, but some were just parents that had kids in other districts, because I also wanted to find out their ideas. Maybe they had some new things that their districts were doing to get parents involved, and maybe they had ideas that they could help with my district. So after a few days of tracking down responses, I was finally able to get back 17 responses to my survey. I'm going to show you the spreadsheet that I compiled from these surveys, and it just gives you a breakdown of all the answers. And I think it's easier to read the graphs. Actually, I made graphs in Excel, so I'm going to show you the graphs instead. So from question number 1, you could easily see that the events that parents most attended in the past 2 years were student performances and portfolio nights. Also coming in a close third was Meet the Teacher night. Very few parents had attended the book fair or the story walk, so it kind of gives you an idea of the attendance issues. Okay, here's the second question, and this had to do with the number of parent volunteers at these school events, which events were parents actually coming in and volunteering their time at. And it seemed like the most frequently volunteered at events were the classroom parties and the classroom field trips, which I thought was a little surprising. I thought it would be different events. In question number 3, this was the one where parents had to give their answer to which events would they be most likely to attend if they were offered in the upcoming school year. And parents responded that they would be most likely to attend a family fun night or a personal parent-teacher conference. Nobody said that they would want to come to parent workshops. In the fourth question, the best time for parents to attend school events, it seemed like most parents would be willing to attend events if they were in the evening The most common time was 6 to 8 p.m. and followed closely behind by 4 to 6 p.m. So mornings and afternoons, not so much. Most parents were available in the evenings. For question number 5, I wanted to find out the preferred method of notification for school events, and it was a tie, but most parents said that they would like to be notified by a email or by a flyer sent home in daily folders. Those were the two most popular, and all the other methods didn't seem to be very popular at all. Nobody wanted to be notified through the school website, nobody wanted to be notified by a phone call, and only one person said that they would like to be notified via the school newsletter. Question number 6 was the reasons for parents not attending school events, and through this question I found out that most parents, their reason was a prior commitment to other family activity. Some people had work, and nobody really cared if refreshments were served or not. And there was only one person that didn't feel comfortable coming into the school, so that was a good sign. And then finally, this was the question where I asked how often parents felt welcomed by the office staff or the principal, and it looks like most of the time, always or most of the time, parents felt pretty welcome. There was nobody that responded that they sometimes or never felt welcomed by the principal or by the office staff. The results were pretty similar for the last question where I asked if parents felt welcomed by their child's classroom teacher. 11 said that they always felt welcomed. 5 said that they felt welcomed most of the time, and only 1 said that they only felt welcomed sometimes. Nobody said never, which was a good thing as well. So I'll take you back here. Okay. So from these results, I was able to kind of come up with a few ideas and a few conclusions about the lack of parental involvement in my school. First of all, I noticed that the most common events that parents were volunteering at were actually field trips and classroom parties. And those two events, out of all of the events that I offered as options to parents, were the only two events that were where the teacher actually coordinated the parents coming into the classroom and volunteering. All the other ones, usually the principal will send home flyers, just asking generally if parents would be able to be willing to come in and volunteer, then they had to send the flyer back. So, knowing that, I came to the conclusion that it would be more likely for parents to come in and volunteer if the classroom teacher took an effort and either called parents to come in and volunteer for all school events, or maybe just sent an email to all parents notifying them that there is an upcoming event and volunteers are needed, and then hopefully that would increase awareness that we do need volunteers at our school and that they're wanted and their time is valued. So something that I would like to do in the upcoming school year actually is just every time that there is a school event coming up, maybe give my parents a quick email, let them know that we would like to have them volunteer and that if they'd be willing, please come in. Maybe even give some parents a phone call, some of the ones that come in and volunteer a lot. I think that would really increase the likelihood of them knowing about these events and knowing that their volunteership is wanted. The second thing that I noticed from my results was that the two events that parents would be most likely to attend if they were offered at my school are family fun nights and also the personal parent-teacher conferences. So if my school did offer those events, it would be likely that a lot of parents would attend those events, and we might get more volunteers and we might get more parents coming into the school. So something that I would like to do in the upcoming school year is just recommend to my principal that these might be good events to offer in the future, and maybe they would bring more parents in. And I might even volunteer in chairpersoning these events if it was available. And finally, the last thing that I kind of came to a conclusion about with my survey is that I realized that the two most common preferred ways that parents wanted to be notified of upcoming school events were emails and flyers sent home in their child's daily folders. We do send flyers home in daily folders to notify parents of events, so this is something that we already do. So it's not something that needs to be changed. However, I have never sent an email notifying parents of any upcoming school event, and there's a large percentage of them that do prefer to be notified in this way. So, knowing that now, something easy that I could do just to satisfy the needs of those parents that do want to be notified through email is I could make a contact list of all the parents of my students' emails and just send, every time that there's an upcoming event, send them a quick email letting them know this is going to happen and the date and the time, and that might just bring them into the classroom a little more frequently. So overall, this project really helped me identify some of the barriers to parental involvement that might be happening at my school. Now, of course, the population that I did survey was 20 of my own email contacts, so these were parents that did tend to be more involved in the past. They were parents that I had contact with frequently over the school years. So it wasn't exactly an accurate idea of the larger population that I want to know why they aren't coming into the school and so forth. So it helped me come up with a good idea of maybe some of the most common barriers and some ideas of the things that I can do in the upcoming school year to increase parental involvement and get them more willing to volunteer. So if I had to do this survey again on a more larger scale, I might try to survey all of the parents in the school and see how many feedbacks that I get from them. But for now, it was a good start. So I hope you enjoyed hearing about my survey, and this is Rachel Lance signing off.